class, welcome to lesson 2.2, multiplying polynomials. Let's do a couple warm-ups, ladies and gentlemen, just to refresh last day's lesson. So let's get started. Looking at 1a, it says to simplify. So taking a look, removing the brackets. Oopsie, hopefully it's going to work. Give me a second. See if this works. There we go. All right, so taking a look here, we're going to start with removing the brackets. So 3f minus 7g plus 5g minus 5f. Everybody with me? Okay, and then collect your f's. So it's going to be minus 2f, and collect your g's, minus 2g. Now, B is a little tricky because you got some fractions. As long as you have a fraction button on your calculator, it's going to help you. Okay, so the first one is 1/3 m minus 2/5 n. That stays the same. Watch your signs on the second one, ladies and gentlemen, because you've got multiple changes here. So it should be plus 2/5 m. And be careful because a negative divided by a negative automatically gives you a positive, but then you've also got to times it by a negative. So you should have negative 1/3 n. Okay, then you got to group your m's and your n's together so that you can collect them. So put my m's together, my n's together. Then just use your graphing calculator, guys, and go 1/3 plus 2/5. Look for your fraction button if you need to know what that is. It's the a bracket b plus c, or a b over c button. Okay, and using that, or do it the long way, you should end up with 11/5 m minus 11/15 n. All right. Taking a look at example 2, determine whether each pair is equivalent or not. So you've got g at x and f at x. So first of all, you could look at switching this and putting this form into standard form. I'll do that in the second example, but for the first one, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to sub in a number to see if it's equivalent. So I'm going to say let x equal 1. So I'm going to prove non-equivalency, or equivalency, depends on how it answers. So f at 1 equals 1 minus 3, bracket 2 times 1, and then 1 plus 5. So plugging that in, I've got negative 2 times 2 times 6, and should give you negative 24. Let's try plugging in x equals 1 for the g at x function. So g at 1 equals 2 times 1 to the power of 3. 10 times 1 squared plus 15. Okay. So simplifying through, we should have 2 minus 10 plus 15, and that equals 7. So again, since f at 1 does not equal g at 1, therefore f at x and g at x are not equivalent. There's A. Let's take a look at B. Okay, so taking a look at B, let's try rearranging them. Again, you could do either or method, doesn't matter. Okay, as long as they didn't specify, they didn't say rearrange each or simplify each equation to determine. Okay, so let's take a look at y1. So first of all, y1, if we want to take a look at that, that is what we call a perfect square. Okay, and we're going to go over how to do this. But what I do, ladies and gentlemen, is I square the first. So that's x. Okay, you square it, it becomes x squared. You take double the product. So I'm going to do the short form, and do you know what? Let me wait. We'll do that in the lesson because I'm going to show you both methods if we're not sure. Okay, so back that up, ladies and gentlemen, what we'll do until we learn the new method. You may have remembered it from grade 10. Otherwise, we'll do the old school method, which is to expand it in FOIL. So you're going to have, using FOIL, x squared minus 2x, which is your outside, inside, minus 2x. And last is negative 2 times negative 2 is plus 4. Okay? And then we're going to collect like terms. So we end up with x squared minus 4x plus 4. That's y1. Now let's take a look at y2. So y2, same thing. Let's expand it. Okay. Do FOIL, so you're going to 4 minus 2x minus 2x plus x squared. Collect like terms and move them together. So move them in order. So x squared, put the highest power first, minus 4x plus 4. Okay, so looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, are they equal in terms of equivalency? And you say y1 equals y2. Therefore, y1 and y2 are equivalent. Good. All right, hopefully that's good. And again, you can choose each method. I just chose one of each. Let's do a review of multiplying. So we're going to be reviewing the distributive law, FOIL, and I'm going to show you a shortcut when you're squaring a binomial. Okay? And I would expect you to adapt to the shortcut because it's going to be easier and save you time once you're more familiar with it. All right, so example, apologize, I've got to pause here for a second. It's all right. Sorry about that interruption. There was some noise in the hall. I wanted to make sure everything was okay. All right, so use distributive law. Again, you take whatever's out front and multiply it by everything inside. So you should end up here with negative 21y to the fourth plus 7y squared minus 7y. Okay? Second example, ladies and gentlemen, is a FOIL. So you do first, outside, inside, and last. So just write that out for those who might have forgotten that. Okay, so remember you do that first. So first is going to be x squared, just like the warm-ups. So 3x minus 2x minus 6. And that equals x squared plus x minus 6. All right, and that's using FOIL. Now taking a look at C, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a binomial times a trinomial. All you have to do is take every term in the binomial and multiply it by every term in the trinomial. So in this case, we're going to end up with 6 terms once we've expanded. Okay? So you need a little bit more room here. So, can't really say first, outside, inside, last, but the first term, first and first, is going to be x cubed minus 4x squared minus 10x minus 3x squared plus 12x and plus 30. Watch that sign there. Many people forget that. Okay, now we collect like terms. So highest power first. So we're going to have x cubed minus 7x squared plus 2x plus 30. All right. Now we're going to get onto this one where I'm going to show both methods. You may have seen this shortcut method in grade 10. I would suggest that you adopt to method 2. But method 1 is expand and FOIL. Okay, so what you would do with this one is you would write it out twice. So 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And then use FOIL. So it's going to be 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9, and that equals 4x squared plus 12x plus 9, just collecting the two like terms in the middle. Second method, which I hope you take a look at, method 2, okay, and this is done in 3 steps. First one is you square the first term. Then in the second one, you're going to double the product. Explain that in a minute, what that means. And then you're going to square the last. So those are 3 things you do. And guess what? You do this in one line. That's how easy it is. Okay? So just going to rewrite the original question. Okay? Now I'll color code things. So square the first. So you take a look at the first term and you square it. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. The second one, which is the harder part, is double the product. So the product is I'm taking this times this and I'm doubling it. So I'm going to write off in the side margin somewhere 2 times my first term, which is 2x, times my last term, which is 3. Calculating that through, that's going to be 12x. Okay? And then the last step, ladies and gentlemen, is to square the last. So you just take 3 and you square it, it's going to be plus 9. So, ladies and gentlemen, it saves you 3 lines here. Well, 2 lines, actually. Okay? So, I would recommend you try adopting this, ladies and gentlemen, to get that. Okay? All right. Let's try a couple more examples. Okay? All right, for E, ladies and gentlemen, use distributive law first. Okay, so we're going to have 6x squared minus 10x cubed plus 14x. Okay, simplifying the second bracket, negative 4x squared minus 28x plus 8. Okay, collect like terms, we should have negative 10x cubed plus 2x squared minus 14x plus 8. And notice, ladies and gentlemen, those are not like terms, so you can't do any further work. Next one, ladies and gentlemen, you notice for F, you have a constant term times a binomial times a binomial. The way I like to do this is that I do my binomial work first, and then I leave the 4 out front, and then I do distributive law after. Okay, so I'm going to leave the 4 out front, do my first outside, inside last. So you're going to have x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12. Collect like terms inside the bracket according to BEDMAS. And then apply the distributive law. So you end up with 4x squared minus 4x subtract 48. Ladies and gentlemen, also want to let you know that as you're doing first and out, or the outside and the inside part, if you know automatically what that is, you can jump right from here to here. Some people will know automatically what that addition or subtraction in the middle term will end up being. 9 times out of 10, if it starts with x subtract a number, or an x subtract or plus a number, doesn't matter. You're going to have the middle 2 terms be the same. All right? All right, G. G is our last example today, and notice that it's a binomial cubed. Okay? So you can break that down into an expansion. Okay, and there's no easy rule for when it's cubed like there is like squaring the binomial. Cubing the binomial is very, there's no quick rule like that other method too. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the first binomial as it is, and I'm going to take a look at the two, multiply the 2 last binomials. So I'm going to leave x minus 2 here. It needs to have in brackets because we still have to multiply it after. And I'm going to do this FOIL. So I'm going to go first, which is x squared. Now watch this. My outside is going to be negative 2x. My inside is going to be negative 2x. So that's going to be minus 4x altogether. So you can put that in right away. And then you do your last term, which is negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So you can skip a step there if you want to. It's grade 11, guys. If you need that other step and then collect like terms to find that middle term, go ahead. Now we're going to apply a binomial times a trinomial. So we're going to multiply everything, and like this x by everything, and then the negative 2 by everything. So here we go. X cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x minus 2x squared plus 8x minus 8. Okay, and now we can collect all like terms. So we've got x cubed minus 6x squared plus 12x minus 8. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That should mostly be review from grade 10. Here's your homework, page 95, numbers 1 to 4, 6, and 9 to 11. Have a great day, and again, come see me if you need any help. And again, can you guys try doing that method too, the squaring the binomial? Try that shortcut method. Ciao, Bella.